Hello, welcome to the Capricorn New Moon, January 2021. It is a very interesting new moon. It is January 13th. In the East Coast, it is 12:01 a.m., so just after midnight. What is very significant about this new moon is that it is conjoined with Pluto and on what's called the heliocentric node of Saturn. So what does this mean? With Pluto, it's representing that depth of transformation that we are undergoing in our world, in our countries, within our community, within our circle, and within ourselves. The planetary beings, so what is it that universe, what is it there is being asked of us? Somehow to release and let go, because that is a Pluto essence. And we can feel as if we're going through a death, since Pluto is the lord of the underworld, of death and rebirth. So where in your life do you feel that something has died and something has not quite yet been reborn? That's usually the feeling when we have Pluto around us, that something has been ripped away, taken away, shed, yet many times there is a space before something new has come in. Now, being on the node, heliocentric node of Saturn, and this new moon in Capricorn gives a double whammy about what Saturn is all about, which is ultimately is about being responsible for what you want to be responsible for. But Saturn in itself represents the structures in our world, our structures, whether it's our job, whether it's the foundation where we live, anything that's material, Capricorn, the material, where we live, that brings structure and support into our life. Much of this will represent that the structure in corporations, the structure in governments is going through a big change, which flips back to the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius, which is get ready because it's going to be changing, whether we want it or not. And that's also Pluto vibration. Pluto, with this new moon, the new beginnings, the releasing, letting go, getting prepared for new starts, to know what we can be in control of and what we can't be in control of, and to find a way to be okay with that. Now, Pluto is, this new moon is also a very strong psychologically oriented vibration to look within oneself, to really look and see, is like, who am I? You know, what really is going on within me and how I'm responding to the world. Where is the reflection that is happening within myself? The North Node in Gemini, that pole to, is the mouth, right, to consume. It is ruled by Mercury in Aquarius. So being able to, Mercury thinking, being able to think in Aquarian, detached, logical, scientific way will allow you to, if you get in a funk, if you see the world in the funk, to be able to take a new perspective on everything that is going on. We do have a beautiful trine between Venus now in Capricorn with Uranus. Of course, Mars is coming up and it's squaring Saturn, so that Mars and Taurus taking action to build, but Saturn is like right in between. It's pushing against the Saturn, so it's pushing against the obstacles that are in our way in order for us to create what we want. But many times with Mars and Taurus, it is a slow and steady process to build towards what is important for us. Now, there are a couple very interesting midpoint signatures in this combination. One being that Neptune, and Neptune rules the virus, that which is Neptune, Saturn is a virus thing. And Neptune is at the midpoint between Mars and Saturn. So what does this mean? That there is you combine, in a way you can combine these energies, that Mars, Saturn is this really, it's a tough energy of, in classical astrology, Mars and Saturn were considered if you want to call it troublemakers, the harder, more difficult planets to manage, because Mars can be the attack in some regards and Saturn can be the restrictive energy, and Neptune just makes it all confused. So there can be some confusing energy about, in our modern day world, of the action to take in regards to Saturn, our structures in our life, the career that we want, the reputation that we are looking to build. So there's that Neptune. It is also a pretty slippery vibration of things not necessarily being what we expect them to be, but I don't think that is any news to anybody out there. And we are building towards the Mars-Uranus conjunction that happens the day of the United States inauguration, which Mars-Uranus, one of the traditional interpretations is accidents or explosions. So it's a very explosive energy that we are moving towards. And yet in this new moon chart, which is holding the vibration, pushing the vibration towards the full moon, there is a Saturn pulling it back. So even if there are explosives planted, there is a Saturn authority signature that says that it can be limited or stopped. Now within yourself, where do you want to explode? And what part of you is ready to stop that explosion? You know, where are you irritated and your higher intention of what you want to create is saying, hey, the Saturn side of you can be saying, hey, is this really going to help me be able to deliver what's most important in the long run, in the future, for what I am, what I stand for, what is most important to me? Now, the other thing is that when you look at the Sabian symbols for the new moon, there's all 360 degrees in the zodiac, of course. And there's many different authors for Sabian symbols. One of the traditionally used one is Mark Edmund Jones. And that traditional symbol for this new moon is a woman entering a convent. And each degree with that has that symbol, and the key word for this symbol, according to Rudyar and Mark Edmund Jones, is consecration. It is the act of making or declaring something special. Now, Pluto with the new moon, Pluto is like, because it's the Lord of death and rebirth, the Lord of death, there's an element of, is my life worth living for? What is my purpose? What is my passion? What empowers me? And when you take the symbol for this new moon, a woman entering a convent, the key word is consecration, the making or declaring of something sacred. What is the sacredness of life? Where are you being given the space to make your life sacred? So that is the vibration that is showering down in this, arguably it could be called the most intense new moon of the year, even though the rest of the next few months we are totally enveloped in the Saturn Uranus square. That this one, we have the Pluto transformation and the sacredness, empowerment of making our life sacred vibration. So thank you very much for joining me and wishing you peace and love. With gratitude, my name is Donna Page, for those of you who don't know me, and my website is Loving Light Astrologer.